All right. Welcome to the Paranormal Activity review. Paranormal Activity Next of Kin is the newest Paranormal Activity movie released on Paramount Plus. And if you saw my initial thoughts on it, I said it didn't feel like a Paranormal Activity movie. It didn't look like it. It's about an Amish community. And, yeah. So the story is that a young woman is made contact with relatives that she had, and she finds out they're in an Amish community, so her name is Margot, and her two friends, Chris and Dale, they go to the Amish community and start filming a documentary. And, yeah. Now, initially, I thought this was one of those Hellraiser type deals where you just took a script, filmed the movie, and put Paranormal Activity on it. Like, it was a script called Next of Kin, and they just, Paranormal Activity, there you go. Because it doesn't seem like a Paranormal Activity until, like, in the second half of the film when they actually start, It kind of feels like Wreck mixed with Paranormal Activity because it's an interview crew. You have this attractive young woman who's doing interviews and stuff that's like Wreck or Quarantine. But for you American folks who haven't seen Wreck, I haven't seen either, but And then towards the end, when you get out to all the demon stuff, it's Paranormal Activity or The Last Exorcism type stuff. Yeah, it's a reboot. It's not a sequel or anything. Like I said, I thought this was just a movie, a script that they had plastered, Paranormal Activity on. But no, Christopher Lambton, Oren Peli, Jason Blum, they're all involved. This was Paranormal Activity from the ground up, and it's different. And if you go in with that mindset that it's different, you might enjoy it. And I will tell you, the beginning of this film, when it's just like interviews and stuff, it's kind of boring. It's interviewing, it's talking. There's this guy named Sam who left the community and was going back with our main characters here, and sorry, and so they get there and they start to talk and stuff. There are certain scares that were spoiled in the trailer, such as the woman potato peeling her own hand, which doesn't really build up to anything. It doesn't. Why is she doing that? It's never explained. It's just in there for a trailer shot. Because after she does that, it just cuts to them at dinner and eating dinner, and then it cuts to something else. So it's like, wait, what happened to her? Why did she do that? What? No, they said we have to put this scene in there for the trailers. That's all it was. There are some Paranormal Activity tropes, such as looking up stuff on the internet, but you're in an Amish community, so how do you do that? Even though they have plugins to charge their phones and stuff, which is weird. I don't know. They had like a power strip, I think I saw, and stuff. But so they decide they're gonna make their way to town and get a new battery for their van because that goes out, and then they go because earlier in the film they start to investigate. There's this church that's just like in the middle of nowhere out there, and when they try to go in there, stops that you can't go in there, you can't film in there. But can we go in there without the filming? No, you cannot go in there. And so of course you tell someone they can't do something, they're gonna do it. They go back later, they find markings that says Asmodeus, or Asmodeus as you actually say it. Asmodeus, 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 Asmodeus. Oh, Asmodeus. Asmodeus. Anyway, So yeah, uh, so they go to town. Chris and Dale, they go to town, and while they get to arrive with the mailman, who tells them that the Baylor family, which is what they came to see, aren't Amish. We don't get any more clarification of that. Although, something dialogue that Chris and Dale say is like, oh, they're just hiding in plain sight. It's a good idea. Okay, it is a good idea. They're hiding in plain sight, sure. You know, kind of. But the mailman knows. More people gotta know. I mean, come on, what's the point of hiding if someone knows? So they look up on the computer thingy at the little auto shop or whatever they are. And they look up Asmodeus, and he's a demon from hell, obviously, but supposedly they got to sacrifice generations of women of a certain bloodline. So it turns out that Sarah, that being Margot's mom, took the baby away from this community so that she wouldn't be taken over by Asmodeus. So, having gotten the car battery, they walk all the way back, which doesn't take that long. I want to talk about this here. So, they made a big deal about this when this movie was first announced. They said, oh, a new Paranormal Activity movie coming. Will take place in the snow. Okay, that's cool because all the other ones, they don't have snow because they take place in California. So this is different. However, they decided that they would do multiple scenes, not just one, but multiple scenes where they're running through a snowstorm. And during this, you can't see shit. You can't see anything. It's just like snow and they're running, so the camera's moving. You can't see anything. It's ridiculous. And there are multiple times they do this in the dark, by the way, because they're coming back. It's dark. They separate because he's going to put the battery in the vehicle. And then Chris goes to get Margot, and she's not there, and all their stuff is gone. And he finds her down the hall. He goes down there. He gets in a fight with the old head father dude, and knocks him down the hole. So he's dead. So he climbs down the hole, and he finds her. He beats up this old lady. He throws this old lady, and I felt kind of sorry for her because she's an old lady, and he pushed her, and she goes, oh. I'm just like, oh, poor lady. I mean, she's an evil old lady, but just to throw her over like that, and she doesn't do anything to retaliate. So it's just like, So he wakes up Margot, and they run, and Dale finally, meets up with them, pulls them both up to safety, while this creature, which we find out later is Asmodeus possessing Sarah. Because earlier, you get that thing in the trailer. My mom used to live here. She still is here. And it's like, wait, what? What? So all the little kids are in on it, I guess. And yeah, so now we're in the final chase. Let me tell you, this last chunk of the film, from the moment they get back from the hardware store, all the way to the end, I was in. Because I was rearranging stuff, getting stuff ready for my my haul video I'm gonna do, but I had to stop at a certain point because I got into this. I mean, when it was just talking, going back and forth, but once it really started to hit off towards the end and the climax, I was with it to the end. So, if I will say, if you can sit through some of the boring dialogue stuff at the beginning and make it at least halfway through, I think you'll get through it because it gets going. But, so Dale is killed by the Asmodeus, and the two are on the run. Chris and Margot are on the run, and they find the van. They find a way to sneak around. They looks like they kill Sarah, which they say, oh, if you release her, You can possess anyone. So killing Sarah's body, I'm assuming it just killed Sarah's body, released Asmodeus, because we'll get to that. And they get in the van, and of course, you do the trope. Can't get it started. Start to break through the windows, and then they get it started and drive off. And then we get the ending scenes. There's 2 ending scenes to end this, and it's clear they are planning to do more with this. It's not just, oh, we're going to put out this movie, and if it does good, then we'll do more. No, they're saying, we're putting out this movie, and it's the first part of something else, because the way it ends, you have Margot and Chris is driving, they're in the vehicle, and there's a point, if you look very closely, you pause it while you're watching on Paramount Plus, when she turns the camera around, you can see there's someone, it's very quick, sitting in one of the seats in the back. But the camera drops on one of the seats back there, like the closest seat, and it's pointed at them as they're driving away, and then Margot just screams, ah! And it cuts. And we see camera again, and the people driving, and it's the cops. And because the whole end of this film, people have gone nuts. They're setting themselves on fire. They're burning down stuff. It's ridiculous. That's when I really got into it, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking cool. But 2 cops show up. One of them hears what sounds like a baby crying, which I thought, I'm like, okay, here's what's gonna happen. This is our sequel bait. They're gonna find a baby, and then that's gonna be the next film. They're just gonna do, oh, we're trying to find the kids and stuff like that. But no, it's Samuel, the guy who brought them there, and all of a sudden it changes to a normal scream, and then all of a sudden you see it's from a camera view, you hear a gunshot and he falls. I'm like, wait, who shot him? But then we're shown another camera view from the other cop who sees Sam walk out and says, hey, hold it right there. And he comes out and you see that he mind controls him to shoot himself. And then Sam gets in the car and drives away. So that's our lead into a sequel, if we ever get one, is, Asmodeus is now possessing Sam, trying to get to Margot, but what did Margot scream at? Who did Margot scream at? I don't know. It's really weird that they end. I'm like, it's because they did that, and I'm like, and it cuts, and I'm like, is that how they're gonna end? What kind of stupid ending is that? And then we get the ending with Sam, and I'm like, well, what kind of stupid ending is that? What does that do? Clearly, they plan on doing more, and so they couldn't have a definitive ending. That have some kind of setup. But I do like that it's not the traditional, they're running away, they both get attacked, and the camera cuts to black. It hints that maybe the camera was taken out, or, I don't know, they could still be alive, so who knows? Especially if you want to set up a sequel. I thought this movie was okay. I'm going to say that this movie was in the middle of the road. It sits in the middle of the road for me. Where does it sit within the Paranormal Activity franchise? I'm going to do a ranking at some point, but not today. I got another review to film, and I got a haul video to film, so I'm pretty much busy for today. But this was alright. It was decent. It was better than I thought it was going to be, so if you're going with low expectations, you might actually like it. But, not too bad. Middle of the road for me. So, what are your thoughts on Paranormal Activity Next of Kin? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.